Hello my lovelies. Today we're going to be making like a heart-shaped jewelry box. So I originally got this idea like a long ass time ago, the height of the vintage heart cakes. So I love vintage heart cakes. I so desperately want a vintage heart cake. I think I got one on my 21st birthday. Maybe I'll include a clip of or photo of that. I don't know if I still have it. But yeah, I just love the way vintage heart cakes look. It's like, I don't know, it's just so cute and cool. So I wanted to do that with the jewelry box. So a lot of people have made this before and I always did want to make it, but like I never had like a good idea of like how to design it. But I saw this one TikTok, I will include it. So yeah, I saw that TikTok and it just like really fucking inspired me. Like, oh my god, how did I not think of that? I can add like an image to the cake. So yeah, that TikTok really inspired me. So after all these months, I'm finally going to be making my heart-shaped jewelry box. So I'm going to be making a Living Dead doll one because y'all know I'm obsessed with Living Dead dolls. So I'm going to be making a Living Dead doll vintage heart cake. And yeah, so I will show y'all how to do it. I first started with finding pictures that I liked and then downsized them to like the size that I wanted them to be so that they can fit the heart. Now you can use like literally any app. I just use Photoshop for like my prints and stuff. And I also wanted to use it because you can change the color image to CMYK instead of RGB. With that, CMYK makes it more correct to like the actual color that you see on like the screen. And if it's RGB, then it'll be like a different color, but it's like slightly off. In the beginning, I used my mom's printer, but then I realized that I bought my own printer for a reason. Her printer is more for printing out documents, while mine is more for like getting the best quality art pictures. Also, yeah, I had to change the ink, which I love to do. I love the satisfying sound of it. But yeah, if you buy ink, don't buy from like the actual like ink company because they charge so much for ink, and it's like you can't even really notice the difference in quality. So I go onto Amazon. I don't really like to support Amazon, but that's the only place where I feel safest enough to buy the ink dupe. So definitely check there first and see if you can find an ink dupe for that. In the last clip, you can definitely tell the difference in quality through all of them. The first attempt, the one on the very left, was the attempt that I made with my mom's printer, and you can see that it was very dull. And the one in the middle was that it was still pretty dull, but not as bad as like my mom's printer. So the reason why it was dull was because I printed it on the wrong side. I totally forgot that there's a right side and a wrong side to print on the printer. So yeah, if your art prints, well, if you buy specialty art paper and your prints aren't coming out how you want them, like they're more dull and less saturated, check to see if it's on the actual right side. But anyways, yeah, so that's the mess up that I did with the one in the middle. And I think also because I needed to change the ink. And then the third one was perfect. It was pigmented, it was nice. In this clip, I'm using Mod Podge so that the glue dries clear, and if I go outside of the actual lines of the paper, then you won't really see it. I'm now going to be using spackleting paste. I'm pretty sure any spackleting paste will be fine. This is just what I found at my local Ace Hardware, no promo. But yeah, it's I thought it would be a lot more like creamier, but it's actually not. And I would actually suggest putting the spackleting paste with water because then it'll like be able to like spread more easily. I didn't figure that out till I started piping it with like the actual piping bags. But yeah, definitely recommend putting in water, just like a little bit, just to like make it more smooth like frosting. Here I'm putting the black acrylic paint with the spackleting paste. If you want it more darker, then I would suggest waiting till it fully dries, like at the end of the project, and then paint it black if you want it like super pigmented. But yeah, if you put the black paint in right now, for me at least, it was more of a gray color. I'm sure that if I added more black paint, it probably could have been more pigmented, but at that point I did not have a lot of black paint. I still need to buy some more black paint, but yeah, I think it still turned out like a pretty decent, like blackish grayish color. Once I was done mixing it all, I started to spread it with a plastic butter knife so then I could like throw it away. I didn't show it in any of the clips, but before this I also painted the top of the heart black so then I don't have to put like the frosting on it and I don't have to worry about ruining the image. I also forgot to mention where I found the heart container. So I found it on this weird website. It was Panda something, I forgot the name of it, but I basically typed into Google pink heart jewelry box and they're fairly cheap, and the reason why I chose from this random website was because that they sold them in a pack of 4, but this website was very shady, so I don't recommend it. They charged me more for shipping because they apparently didn't calculate it right, so yeah, they sent me an extra payment. So yeah, I would try to find a more reputable website. I also didn't show this, but for the top of the cake I also put glittery Mod Podge on like the top so that it will be a varnish and also it'll be sparkly because I love sparkles. In this clip I'm putting the red frosting or spackleting paste with red acrylic paint into the piping bags. I had the most trouble with this part. One, because I've never used like piping bags and stuff, so the spackleting paste or frosting kept like squirting out of like the wrong ends, and it was just like it was a very messy process, and it made me frustrated because like I'm autistic and it's just kind of like a gross feeling. Like I don't like weird textures, so yeah, it made my hands feel really weird. So I would suggest wearing gloves if you're like very sensitive to like those kind of sensations. But yeah, this is a very messy project. So yeah, it was very hard at first to like figure out how to use it. So I did a little couple practice strands on like the bowl of the rim of the bowl. And then I began doing the little designs, which y'all can see here. I'm still not like 100% good at it, but you know what? It's my cake. It's okay. It's okay if it's not 100% perfect. Also, you can see here that it got clogged, but yeah, it kept getting stuck at times, which was also very annoying to deal with. When I was squeezing the bag to get more, it just like went all over my hands. So look at me, I'm literally scooping it off my hands. Ugh, I can still remember it. It gives me nightmares. Ugh. Like I previously stated, I didn't like how unpigmented it was, so I decided to go in with my red acrylic paint and repaint the frosting once it was like completely dry. So here's the little vintage box. I think oh shit. Here it is up close. I added little pearl details and also little dangly things on the side and on the bottom, just to make it a little bit more elevated. In order to like put the pearls on, I just like glue them down with like super glue. And yeah, I didn't paint the back, which I mean, maybe if I really wanted to, I could paint it black in the future, but I don't know, I figured that it's gonna lay down so like no one will really see it. But yeah, here's how it turned out. It still opens, of course, because it's gotta be functional. But yes, I hope you guys got some useful information out of this. Let me know if y'all also made a little box for yourself. This is perfect for Valentine's Day. I don't have a Valentine, so if I could make a Valentine for myself, y'all can also make a Valentine for yourself. And if not, that's okay. It is kind of time consuming, but I think the end result is worth it. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Bye.